Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike Janda. I'm glad you're here. We are going to talk today about bad clients versus difficult clients. What's the difference? How do you manage one versus the other? And what are the bad clients you should watch out for? I got a whole bunch of personas for you in this video. Before we get into the content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all the stuff that makes this channel get better, and it will motivate me to give you more and more content, and then it's just totally a win-win-win-win for everyone. All right, let's dig in to bad clients versus difficult clients. Now, while I'm going through this and I'm running through these personas, if you've ever had one of these bad clients, drop a comment and let us know which one you've dealt with. I have dealt with every single one of them on this list. All right, let's go into this quote. I heard this, somebody posted this on Instagram one time, and I shake my head at this stuff. When somebody says things like, oh, there's no such thing as bad clients, there's just designers who don't know how to manage them, some kind of thing like that. And that's like the most junior design thing that I think I've ever heard, because honestly, if you've been working in this industry, creative industry, you will have real bad clients, not difficult clients that you don't know how to manage, but actually bad clients. Let's look at what the difference is between those. You got difficult clients versus bad clients. And it all gets down to these traits. The first one on here is intent. A difficult client wants the project to succeed, but a bad client wants control and power. That's their motivation. Their behavior. A difficult client is challenging, but self-aware that they're challenging. A bad client's disrespectful and combative. The next trait, response to boundaries. A difficult client is going to accept pushbacks. A bad client is going to escalate things and manipulate. And then the final thing is the fixable with. A difficult client is fixable with clear scope and a strong process. A bad client is fixable with a contract and the courage to fire that client. That's what you need to have, is courage to let those bad clients go. Let's look at this little sheet right here. The difference kind of thing here, difficult clients, we can manage them. They're naive to the process. They might change their mind a lot. They're bad at communication, but they want to be a good client. They want to have a good outcome. They want to have a good project. Now, an actual bully or an actual bad client, they're going to intentionally try to take advantage of you. They're going to try and squeeze every little drop of everything out of you, including your self-esteem and your money and your time. They are going to extract it all. They are oftentimes mean-spirited. Now, some of them hide their mean-spiritedness behind this intention to try to take advantage, but there is some mean-spiritedness with some of these bully clients, these bad clients. They're disrespectful. I have had these people. I had a meeting one time. This guy, he gets into the room. We had already met with his second in command person, and he came into our conference room at my agency. She was ready to sign, and this is the boss guy. And he comes in, and we sit down. We have a little presentation. We're like, hey, let's just walk you through what we plan to do and then how it all prices out and stuff. And we have 3 slides at the beginning that talk about our agency. So I said something like, okay, just before we begin, let me just give you a little bit of background about our agency. And then it was blah, 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 blah. And then he butts in and says, wait a second. I don't care about your agency. I want to know what you can do for me. And then I was kind of taken back because I was like, well, we have one slide left. That's just a team shot. And he's like, no, but let's just get to the part where you're going to tell me what you're going to do for me. And it was just so bully and so blunt and so disrespectful. And I think he saw it on some CEO entrepreneur show or something. He thought he had to act that way. Literally, the beginning intro of this was like a minute. of the presentation. And then we were going to get to the stuff that he was asking about, which I know is the priority. You do have to go and prioritize the client. You don't want to go in and talk all about yourself in a pitch like that. But giving a little backstory to a new client sets the stage so they know who they're talking to. Anyway, it still pisses me off. I told the guy, we got into it, and I was like, I don't think we're going to be a good fit to work together on this. And just think you should work with somebody else. Because throughout that meeting, he just kept being this kind of belittling, bulliness, bluntness that he had it was no good. He was going to be a bad client. It was going to be miserable. All right. Cut those people off before they get deep into the project. If you feel it, if you think it's bad in the pitch phase of a project, wait until you see what happens in round freaking 4 and round 24 of the project, because some of these things just get way out of hand. All right. Bully clients. So the mean-spirited, disrespectful, they don't want a win-win. They're just wanting to get everything they can out of you. And they don't care what kind of damage they cause to you or your business as a result of it. Now, those are the people you fire. Manage the difficult ones, fire the actual bully ones. All right, let's go down through some personas. These, I've had every single one of these, and these are red flag clients that you need to be aware of. You can still work with them, but you got to know what you're getting into. The first one, the visionary. They don't have any money yet, but the money's on its way because the idea is so huge. In fact, I have some people that I know. They're always talking about $1 billion idea. They're like, oh, I was talking to so-and-so, and at lunch, they said, this is $1 billion. This is a B. This is going to be $1 billion business. And I always just, give them the, oh man, that's awesome. That is awesome. I have somebody I know who's done that for years and years. Anyway, you got to be aware of those clients. You got to be aware. If they don't have money, but they're kind enough to let you work on their thing because it's going to be so huge, be careful of those people. Next one, the alleged connector. The alleged connector, do some good work for me here, and I'll give you all kinds of referrals. I know a lot of people. That's what these people say. Give me a good price because I know a lot of people, and I'm going to put you in contact with a lot of people. You got to be careful of those people. I'm all for it, and I'll give them discounts after they give us people, but not before. Let them pay the normal rates. The next one, the hurry up. They want to get started right now, even though their funding is not quite in place, but it's coming. And let's just get started. Can we get started on Monday? And I do have the funding. It's going to hit on Thursday, and we're going to be able to pay that first invoice. But we got to really get going on this. Can we start on Monday? Be careful of those people. I've had so many of those that the money, when does it come? Never on one. The one who cost me the most money of all the clients in the history of my business, money never came. Cost me, I don't even want to say it, but it was like hundreds of thousands of dollars in losses on that client. Okay. The poser. They talk the big game. They walk the big walk. They have the fancy car, but they don't have any success in their history that support their grand vision statements that they have. No success today is often a reflector of no success tomorrow. Now, it doesn't mean always. Like I said, you can work with some of these people. You just have to know what you're getting into. And somebody who has not been successful yet in their life, you have to be more careful with those people. If you've got somebody who sold their last 7 businesses and they're sitting there, well, you can take a little more risk with those kind of people. All right, the next one, the firer. They fired their last 5 agencies that they worked with. I always laughed when I asked this question to clients, potential clients. I'm like, oh, have you ever worked with somebody on this before? Oh, yeah. Our last agency, we fired that last agency. They were just miserable. If they fired the last agency, there's always 2 sides to the story. And I kind of like to know, well, what happened? Tell me more about what happened with that client. Ask that, ask that potential client because you could be the next agency they fire. The promiser, they ask for a deal today and they promise that they're going to have a lot more work for you coming in the future. Promises like this are not worth much. When somebody comes to you and says that, hey, can you give us a deal on this today? And then we do have a ton more work coming. You can respond and say, I can't give you a deal on this one today, but I can on a follow-up project. I'll give you a discount on that. I love that. Thank you. We would love to build a long-term relationship with you. So here's our price for this. And the next one, if you do the similar project, you know what? I'll give you a 10% discount off of this price for repeated projects. That's great. So if they really have a lot more coming, then motivate them to give you the work so that they get their discount later. The dictator, since they're paying for the work, they think that they can dictate every single thing about it. We don't need mood boards. What's this mood boards? We don't need, what's this UX thing? Let's just take that out. Let's take that UX thing out. Let's take out the mood boards. Let's just go right to design. That's the kind of thing that you get from some of these dictators. Don't change your process for a client. Your process exists so that you can execute consistently high quality work. The ghost, everything's going good. Discovery meeting, they got tons of ideas. They're collaborating, they're excited, they're responsive, and then you send or present your price. And they're like, okay, great, thanks. We need to go talk this over with our people. And then you never hear from them again. That is the ghost. You have a ghost, be careful how much you chase them down on those kinds of potential clients. The change order. Okay, everything's going good. You scope the project, you present it, they approve the price, and then in the very first meeting, they're like, hey, you know what, we were talking about this over the weekend, and I know we approved that on Friday, and we want to get started on that, but we got another idea. Let's do XYZ. And they come out right before you even start the actual project. They come right out and start giving you changes to the scope. Be careful of those clients. It's okay for you to cancel a project or change the approach depending on how things go in those first meeting or two after green light. You can change that to a bucket of hours engagement or to an hourly engagement. You could say something to the client who comes in, meet with an immediate change order. You could say, hey, you know what? Thinking this over, if you're going to have ideas like this, and we love your ideas, if you're going to have ideas like this, it may be better for us to switch to an hourly engagement. That way you can come in with ideas and we'll adapt with priorities as we go. I think that might be a better approach for us. So you can do that to protect your downside if you have a fixed bid that they approved and now they're trying to change it right out of the gate. All right, the next one, the bros. These are the tech bros. They're the tech entrepreneur bros. I wear flat brim hats, but these are the guys right here. And they're driving their leased Audi and they're like, oh, dude, we're entrepreneurs. That's the cool thing. And they love that. I don't want to bash on this too much because there's so many of them out there. But if you've ever worked with any of these tech bros, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Yeah, okay. These people have cost me a lot of money too. They're the dudes. They support each other. Oh, bro, you got this. We're doing this. And then they leave their meeting and they're feeling all cool, and be careful of those people. All right. The arrogant funded. This is like all about where they got their money. Oh, well, you know, I got my money from so-and-so, Sequoia. Sequoia is our Series A funding, blah, blah, blah. You get a lot of this in the Bay Area when we were doing a lot of work out of the Bay Area, and everybody talks about where they got their money. Who gave them their money? Because it means something. Because if X company backs them, then you can trust them too. And so it was a big deal who gave you the seed money to start your business. So they talk about it. So be careful of the arrogant funded, because they oftentimes have an air about them that can be difficult inside of the project flow. The next one, the simpler. That's not going to take you very long. You know what? Can we just spin up a couple hours on this? Because I can't imagine that this is going to take you very long. It's just a logo, just design this. It's not going to take you very long. The simpler, they always try and make it simple. This just seems simple to you. Be careful of those people. Oftentimes they struggle to pay fair rate for you because they think it's just too easy. The next, the yes, yes, no. Everything seems to be going good. Discovery meeting, everything. They're like, oh man, I can't wait to get started. Let's see that proposal. We need that. And you can even confirm price. So you tell them, hey, there's going to be somewhere between, 12,000 on the high end, 10,000 on the low end. You okay in that? And they're like, yeah, that's great. And then you finally get to creating the proposal, presenting it to them. And they're like, you know what? This is a lot higher than what we thought it was going to be. So it was yes, 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 and then no. Be careful of that type of client. You're going to get a lot of yes, yes, no throughout the process. The check is in the mail. They allegedly cut the check yesterday. I don't know why you don't have it. I don't know. We sent it yesterday. Should be in your mailbox anytime now. Can we just keep going on this project? That's the check is in the mail client. Everybody's had one of these. They keep you stringing along, waiting until you do so much work and the check never comes. And then what's going on? Oh, well, I thought Sally sent it, blah, blah, blah. Be careful of those types of clients. Don't be afraid to pause the project until the money actually gets there. The denier, they don't care what the research says. Their idea is the right idea. Actually, your research differs from my research. I surveyed myself yesterday, and I think that's their mindset. The denier denies research, and I love going to clients with data. Yeah, I can spin up a little focus group or a survey or something and get feedback and tell them, hey, 73% of the people we surveyed prefer logo A versus logo B. And then let them push back. If they push back and want their bad idea, you got to navigate how much you push back on them. So be careful, but beware of the denier of the research. Okay, those are the persona bad clients to watch out for. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had any of these clients or if you've had all of them. And tell us some stories down there. I would love to hear some of your experiences. I shared a couple in this. Every little joking quote that I made about those different clients were things people actually have said to me in real world scenarios while I was running my agency. All right. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you learned a little nugget or two in this video. We will see you again soon. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, drop a comment. We'll see you again in another video soon.